Hello, America. Illegal immigration. This show used to be one of the few places that you'd hear anybody talking about it, but with the 2008 presidential election season in full swing, it's finally getting the national attention it deserves from politicians who could actually make a difference. But will they do more than talk? We'll have to see. Over the next hour, we look at this issue from all sides. Later, I'll sit down with Johnny Sutton, the man responsible for imprisoning U.S. border guards who I believe are guilty of nothing more than trying to keep dangerous drug smugglers and illegal aliens out of our country. But first, President Bush has been crisscrossing the country touting the immigration reform bill, which to me and most conservatives, it's nothing but an amnesty bill. But here's what he's had to say.
A lot of Americans are skeptical about immigration reform, primarily because they don't think the government can fix the problems. And my answer to the skeptics is, give us a chance to fix the problems in a comprehensive way that enforces our border and treats people with decency and respect. Those determined to find fault with this bill will always be able to look at a narrow slice of it and find something they don't like. If you want to kill the bill, if you don't want to do what's right for America, you can pick one little aspect out of it. You can use it to frighten people.
You know what really bothers me about this? It really kills me that what he's talking about here is the frightening prospect of amnesty to 12 million illegal aliens. It doesn't matter what the president says. The plan is bad for our economy, bad for our security, bad for the whole country. It's not that we don't believe the government can secure it. We just don't think the politicians will. The politicians don't have to pretend they care anymore if we give them their precious amnesty. Soon the busts and the raids will stop, and you can forget about that fence ever being built. Joining me now is Congressman Duncan Hunter from California. Congressman, you are the guy who actually built the real fence that we have in San Diego, and it works. It has changed San Diego. Briefly tell me about how it's changed that city.
Yeah, Glenn, it's brought down the crime rate in San Diego since we built the border fence has dropped by FBI statistic by 53%. We put the border gangs that were out of control. We put them out of business. We put out of business the drive-through drug people driving vans and pickup trucks of cocaine across the border. And we knocked down smuggling of people and narcotics by more than 90%. So the San Diego fence, and incidentally, it's not a wall, and it's not that scraggly little fence you see on TV. It's two fences with a Border Patrol road in between. And if anybody can climb that second fence, we sign them up for the Olympics immediately. Nobody can cross those double fences. Now,
you said to me a year ago when we just put in the new bill that you wrote that was for the 800 miles offense, you said, Glenn, I'm telling you, they have to do it the way I wrote it. They have to build this fence. However, Congressman, no disrespect, you know I love you. They're not building it, and this new immigration bill is actually reducing the 800 to 300. Why should I believe anyone in Washington when they won't enforce the new law that they just built, signed?
Well, Glenn, I wrote that law exactly the way I wrote the law for the San Diego fence, which says the government shall build, the Department of Homeland Security shall build the 854 miles, and I designated the sections where they have to build it. Now, Homeland Security issued a statement the other day, and they said Congressman Hunter is wrong. We are going to have that fence built. They said they claim they're going to build 150 miles of fence by December. If they don't get started soon, I had my guys go down and check it the other day. They've finished by about noon 3 or 4 days ago. They finished 11 miles of 854 miles of fence. But they claim the head of Homeland Security was on national television saying Congressman Hunter is wrong. I am going to build the fence, and we're going to have 150 miles built by December. They better start pretty quickly if they're going to knock out 150 miles.
You know, I have to tell you, Chertoff was on my program on radio a couple of weeks ago.
Then you heard him say that.
Oh, yeah. And he said to me, he said, Glenn, I said, Mr. Chertoff, we just don't believe anyone in Congress. We don't believe the congressmen. We don't believe the senators. We don't believe the president. We don't believe anyone's going to actually do what they say they do. And he actually had the cojones to say to me, you just have to hold the politicians' feet to the fire. We have been. Nobody's listening to us.
Well, Glenn, we passed that bill in the House. This is not a matter of getting a vote out of the House. You passed it in the House. The fence vote went to the Senate. It passed 80-19 in the Senate. The president signed his name on it. It's now U.S. statute that 854 miles of fence shall be built. It's Mr. Chertoff's job now to execute that law. There's nobody's feet to be held to the fire except his. Now, he promised 150 miles of fence by December. We ought to check on him in about a week and see if he's now acquired the land along Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, along those smugglers' routes, that he has to fence.
You stay in touch with us, Congressman. You stay close to us. We will follow, and we will hold his feet to the fire right along with you. Congressman, thanks a lot. Now